Hey everyone, I'm Natasha Martinez and you're watching American Latino TV, celebrating American Latino pride. As a young actor, you dream of the moment you get the call where you land a lead in a major show. For actress Isabella Gomez, that call happened. 18-year-old Isabella was cast to play Elena Alvarez in the Netflix reboot of One Day at a Time, a franchise made famous by Norman Lear's original 1970s sitcom. In the reboot, it's centered around a Cuban American family in Los Angeles, with 3 generations living under the same roof. Isabella plays the oldest daughter of a war veteran mom, played by Justina Machado, and the granddaughter to Lydia, played by the iconic Rita Moreno. Coming up, I sit down with Isabella to hear all about how her acting dreams took her from Medellin, Colombia, to Orlando, Florida, to Hollywood, California, where she is now working with some of its greatest legends. All this up next, only on American Latino TV. Hello, I'm Isabella Gomez. I'm an actress and I play Elena in One Day at a Time.
We have a problem. Your daughter does not want to have a princess.
What? We already booked the room and I found a great band. Okay, it's your brother with an iPod and a playlist, but it's a very good playlist.
My career started in Colombia, in Medellin, Colombia. I started doing commercials and hosting events and doing stuff like that. And then I moved to Orlando, Florida. I kept training, auditioning. An audition brought me here to LA for a callback and I fell in love. I was like, I have to live there. I have to do this someday, every day, right now. I came out, I booked a recurring role on Matador, and that was my first time really on like a big Hollywood set, and it just really assured me that this is what I wanted to do. And so I told my parents, and my dad's like, all right, let's move across the country, and here I am.
Elena, something came in the mail. I did it! Screw you, Harvard! No, she didn't mean that, Harvard.
One Day at a Time, the original one, was in the 1970s, and it followed a single mom with 2 daughters, and it had Schneider, which was the handyman of the apartment. Our show follows a Cuban American family, and so it's a single mom who's also a veteran, and we have the 3rd generation, which is the grandma, Lydia, who's played by Rita Moreno. We have Schneider, but Schneider was kind of reinvented. There's a lot of parallels in the sense that we talk about really important problems, like sexism was a big one in the 70s one, and it's also a big one in ours, but this is completely different, but it has the same essence.
I researched the history of quinceañeras and found out they're totally misogynistic.
She's been reading again. Why do you let her read?
Elena's great, and she is this incredibly driven teenager, and she's super smart and educated, and she has so many goals that she wants to accomplish. And I always say it's really cool because a lot of teen girls have roles that are, I'm the cheerleader and I'm the pretty girl, and Elena is nothing like that, and she really wants to focus on bettering the world instead of just being a pretty face. I do think Elena is a really important character to see because there is a lot of the Kylie Jenners, and that's also important, you know? There's a quote in the show that says beauty is power, and that's absolutely true, but it's also important to see both sides of the spectrum. Intelligence is also power, and especially in a world where women are told that if you don't look a certain way, you're not important.
Keep it together with your friend.
I think it's time to leave.
Thought you said I was supposed to keep it together.
Well, that's true.
Rita, see, I went to Rita for everything, but there was this one moment when we were backstage, and I was really, really nervous because it was a big moment for my character, Elena. And I went up to her and I'm like, I don't feel anything. And she said that is when you start relying on your technique, you know, that sometimes as actors, you're not gonna feel it, and you have to fall back on the techniques that you've learned. And it really calmed me down because I tend to rely more on how I feel in the scene, and I realized that it's totally okay to also rely on technique.
So I'm you.
So you want to crush my heart into pieces? That's not me, that's her.
You make me sound like I have an accent.
You know, I think every actor goes through that stage in their career where they doubt themselves, because as actors we face so much rejection daily. You know, every audition, if you don't book, that's a rejection. There was, in particular, this one show that it was my first show I ever tested for, and I didn't book it, and it broke my heart. But I think that moment really taught me a lot because I felt heartbroken, but I didn't feel like I wanted to quit.